Hello guys, MonkeyBot here. Now today we received some news from Creative Assembly regarding the future of Total War Warhammer 3. It was released as a video blog. If you want to see the full video, it will be in the description down below. But I just wanted to talk about some of the highlights that were presented in this video, and to be honest, I'm quite excited with the things that are coming. So it talks about a variety of different things, so the legendary lords that are coming in the next Lord Pack. We got information on some factions that have been left in the dark recently and giving hope that they are going to be receiving some updates, including some specifics to some of the other races. And then finally we got a little bit of information about patches that become in between the major DLC content. So that being said, let's get straight into the news here. So let's get into the most exciting part of this blog. We have been given the names of the 3 DLC characters that are coming in the next Khorne, Greenskins and Ogre Kingdoms DLC, and the first one being the Ogre Kingdoms DLC. I think this is the most obvious one here. It's Golfang Maneater. It's already been discovered in the game file, so he is already technically in the game. He's just not accessible to the public player base right now. But we've all seen the leaks. We all know the news. We all know he was coming. So that's no surprise to anyone here. Now moving on to the Khorne DLC. Now this one is a little bit more surprising to me. Not the fact that he's actually being introduced in patch 6.0, but I'm surprised that he's going to be part of the paid DLC content and not the FLC content. And that's going to be Skulltaker. So Skulltaker is going to be the new DLC faction for Khorne, which is great. I always wanted Skulltaker as part of the Khorne roster. It was a given that he was going to come eventually, and I'm really looking forward to playing him. I'm just concerned how they're going to create him into a DLC level Legendary Lord instead of an FLC Legendary Lord, but I'm more than willing to be proven wrong. So we're going to have to wait and see. Now the final Legendary Lord that's coming in would be for the Greenskins, and that is Gorbad Ironclaw. So it turns out my leak was right and wrong at the same time. I was right that it was Gorbad Ironclaw, but I wasn't quite right that it was his footage. But anyway, we're on the right track here. So it's Gorbad Ironclaw. It's nice to see that we're going back to getting orcs again. We've only been having Goblin DLCs since the game has been released. So going back to orcs is a great addition for the Greenskins. The Greenskins are already in a really good place. It's just adding as many characters as possible now. As many characters, as many units. But I think Greenskins is already a great faction. And the only other thing that I can really talk to you about 6.0 is that they've semi-revealed the FLC Legendary Lord that's going to be coming alongside this patch. And it's going to be another Khorne faction. They haven't specified what character that's going to be yet, whether it's going to be Albrecht the Bloody or someone else, who knows. But it's not Skulltaker, which is what everyone was predicting. I think everyone was predicting that Skulltaker is going to be the FLC, but now he's in that DLC slot. It really does open up a lot of questions on who is going to be the FLC candidate for Khorne. We didn't get a lot of information on units coming in this DLC, although we did get 2 units, 2 of the big monsters, one for the Ogre Kingdoms and one for Khorne. So for the Ogre Kingdoms, we're going to get the Thunder Tusk. The Thunder Tusk is basically something like we have in game already, except it's very icy. And then we also got another unit for the Ogre Kingdoms, which are the Blood Vultures, which are essentially your Crowmen for the Ogre Kingdoms. And then for Khorne, it's going to be the Slaughter Brute. It's going to be like the Tzeentchian Vortex Beast, except with less magic and more brute savagery. The last little bit of information involving this DLC is that this DLC is going to be Immortal Empires only, so you're not going to see any of the 4 Legendary Lords, that's including the FLC Legendary Lord, on the Realms of Chaos map. They aren't completely abandoning the Realms of Chaos. They have mentioned they're going to be updating it, and they're going to be a few balance changes to it, but from now on it seems like we're strictly going to Immortal Empires right now. To be honest, that's very good. It was a given that the Realms of Chaos was going to die out eventually, and they would have to move over to Immortal Empires only. But this is really good news for the future. This means we can start introducing race packs into the DLC, so the Dogs of War aren't going to be such a problem anymore. Inns and Koresh could even come in as a future faction. Now, I still think these are a few years off, so I wouldn't start getting your hopes up too soon. Now that they are willing to go to Immortal Empires only, really does open up a lot of possibilities here. And they've also mentioned that they're going to be sticking to this 3 Legendary Lords and 1 FLC format now for all of the DLCs going forward, or at least the majority of the DLCs. So expect to have 3 Legendary Lords, 1 FLC character for every major release now going forward into the future. There was an estimated Release date for this, not specific, but they did say that expect it towards the later end of the year. So I would say that will probably be somewhere between October and a December release date. So don't expect this to come soon. It's kind of expected. We've only just got Thrones of Decay. So towards the end of the year, release date is to be expected. And that's it for the DLC information. We were giving lots of other things. Like they said, they are working on the vampire counts right now. Nothing specific about the vampire counts, but don't worry, they will be coming soon. We did get a mention of Norsca and the monster hunter mechanics. So the Norsca rework I'm expecting to come very soon, but they are specifically focusing on the monster hunter mechanic here. The Lizardman geomantic web was mentioned, so expect changes to that in the future also. And the final mechanic that they mentioned in this video blog was the cult mechanic, so that's the monogod cults. They are likely to receive changes in the future also. The last little bit of exciting news that we got was they actually gave us a little bit of information about the update schedule that they're going to be using going forward. So they did mention that the majority of the content was always saved for the major releases. So that's 5.0, 6.0, 4.0, the big grand releases that normally come alongside some form of DLC. But they did mention because of the longer gap between DLCs now, because the DLCs are much larger, we will be receiving content updates going forth in the minor patches. So these are like not necessarily 5.1, but the hot fixes that we're going to be getting, those are going to be turned into proper patches now, and we'll be receiving racial updates within these patches. So for example, the monster hunter mechanic, the cult mechanic, the geomantic web, these will not necessarily be saved for the big major patches, but these will be implemented in let's say mid-season patches, I guess, if you like, in between DLCs. So we're gonna constantly be getting fresh content, fresh updates, and more tools to play with within our campaigns. And that is all the information that we've been given. So that's a very, very quick summary. If you want to go see the full interview, the video is linked in the description below. Go check it out. I will be making speculation videos on 3 legendary lords that we have been given, their start locations, the mechanics, very similar to what I did with Thrones of Decay. And I'll try and find out who can now fill that FLC slot now that Skulltaker has been upgraded to the DLC. But that's all I've got for you today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this kind of content. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below on what you feel about these changes. I'm feeling very optimistic on the future of the game, and I hope you guys are too. But until then, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.